Thank you, Supervisor Mahan. Right now, I'd like to also recognize representing the Village of Colonie, Jack Murphy, who's joining us this morning. Thank you. Our next speaker, and Supervisor Mahan had given a little bit of information, and Steve's going to be able to expand upon that and all the other wonderful work that the Colonie Police do, is our Chief of Police, Steve Heider.
Thanks, Tom. Everybody hear me okay? I can't bend down that low to that microphone. You know, whenever you follow the boss, you know she's going to steal all the thunder of everything you were going to say. I figured by the time La Sabina speaks, he'll say hello and then go sit back down. Listen, what Paula talked about, basically involving the town of Colonie, mirrors what we try to do in the police department every day, and that is form partnerships throughout the town, unlike some other police departments, that we feel carry our message throughout the town of Colonie. You know, in 1975, we had over 400 residential burglaries in this town, a year, every year. Last year, we had 209. So when you think of it, we almost doubled our housing stock in the last 40 years. And unfortunately, I have to admit that I was here in 1974 as a police officer. But when you look at the doubling of the housing stock, the doubling of the apartments in the town of Colonie, to see our burglary rate drop by 50%, to us is a huge accomplishment. Now, I'd like to say that's all because of the police department. It's all because of me being #1 cheapest, safest chief in the world, okay? But it's all about our community participation. When you look at our partnerships with town government, and you know, Paula is one of the most supportive supervisors the chief of police could ever have, in addition to members of the town board that are here today, because we are at full strength, or nearly full strength, with a couple of retirements. We keep maintaining those programs that Paula talked about, but although some people criticize them, like the DARE program, the Youth Court program, our Police Explorers program, but all three of those programs reach out and send a common message throughout the town of Colonie that we think strikes home and makes us a very safe place to be. Now, we are facing a lot of challenges. There's no question about that. As Paula talked about, our budget situation is tenuous at best. We are dealing with the police department the best way we can to try to control our costs as well as we can. But at the same time, still reaching out for those partnerships that I talked about to make sure that our message is still getting out. We truly do believe in a community policing model where we can't have a patrol car in every street corner. We can't have a beat cop in every neighborhood. We're far too spread out for that type of policing. What we hope is that our residents, our businesses, and the people that travel throughout the town of Colonie during the course of every single day hear our message, carry that message home, and make sure that they don't become victims, which in fact keeps crime at a standstill. When we look at the things we do with the senior citizens community, the things we've done with the Senior Centers Incorporated with Ed Neary in terms of safe driving for our elderly, traffic is one of our hugest challenges in this town. Not only getting through the town during the course of the day, but in terms of our officers and the type of work that they do. You know, we make over 20,000 traffic stops a year in this town. Now, we only issue 13,000 tickets, so Judge Massery doesn't have to be there till 4 o'clock in the morning every Monday. But when we look at those 20,000 traffic stops, when you figure probably 100 cars or 200 cars pass by that traffic stop every time, we send a message to another 200 people with every one of those traffic stops to drive safely, to drive responsibly. And to be honest with you folks, we hope when the criminals drive by that police car, they think we have 100 more police cars on the roads that they're going to plan to commit their crimes in. We do lie between 3 cities that have enormous crime problems. Not that our situation is any different, we have crime problems too, but we find it remarkable that we've been able to maintain our status quo in terms of safety in light of the fact that everything that's happened over my nearly 40 years of service, the different drug crazes we've been through, the different behaviors we've been through over the last 40 years. For us to maintain that kind of ranking, to me, is just an enormous feat, not only for the police department, but for the entire town of Colonie. The partnerships, the other partnerships that we do, to give you an example, not only with town government, but even with Joe La Sabina in the planning department. Our Highway Traffic Safety Committee, which is chairman by one of my police lieutenants, works diligently with the planning board to make sure that we try not to create more traffic, yet still being business friendly and allowing businesses to move in. Our work with our 2 school districts is unmeasurable in terms of being able to reach out to those thousands of young people and the thousands of families that, again, we feel will go to the state of Maine to do that. When we look at the challenges facing us, obviously we're dealing with budget, but we face challenges in technology every day. Unfortunately, when I look at my budget, and it takes up almost 1/6 of the town budget, technology has become a huge factor. As with the cell phone industry, they'll give you that cell phone as long as you do that service contract with it. My service contracts alone to our town budget for our RMS system, our radio system, are almost $500,000 a year and rising. But it's something the town has to do to stay up with the challenges. When we look at technology, also we look at technology of the criminals and what they are using now in terms of the use of computers to facilitate crimes. The use of the computers to do anything from mass-produce counterfeit bills, to mass-produce credit cards, to mass-produce counterfeit identification, which is one of the leading crimes that face us all moving forward. We look at the white-collar crimes for the business community here today. Anybody only needs to read the local papers to realize that every single day you're seeing an arrest of a professional person who is stolen from their employer. And we implore our local business people to make sure that they handle those checks and balances to make sure that they and their money stay safe within the community. As far as being #1 safest town in America, from towns over 75,000, we're very proud of that. One of our biggest battles, though, is convincing our citizens, our businesses, that they still are possible victims in waiting. Last spring, we had over 400 car larcenies in the Lincoln area. Not where the cars were stolen, but where people got into the cars. And folks, they stole everything from laptops, wallets, checkbooks, GPS systems, passports, you name it. People had left those items in the car. The one characteristic thing about that, not in one single case was the car broken into. In every single case, it was an unlocked vehicle in a driveway in a residential neighborhood or in a commercial area. And it's people that almost asked to become a victim of crime. So we are still challenged to reach out. We do not rest on our laurels. We reach out every day for our community to make sure that they are doing the things to make them safe. We work very closely with our partners, including partners like from Colonie Center, to make sure that we have adequate patrols here during the busiest time, and during the times when people are very worried with the theater open. And I can honestly say here, we have very few problems at Colonie Center because of the very progressive attitude that the management and staff here has employed and to work with the town of Colonie to get things done. So overall, in conclusion, I am extremely proud Chief of Police. I started my 39th year in the town of Colonie Police Department January 1st. It is something that, to me, brings consistency to the program, consistency from the town government that supports us. I can't tell you how much they support us on a day-to-day basis. And for that, I'm thankful. And the business community, the residential community in town of Colonie, we know that support carries through for us on a daily basis. We partner with EMS, with the fire departments, with everything throughout this town, with the school district, and the private community to make sure we stay the safest and we are the best. So I thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.